Hey, it's Ty Crandall with Credit Suite, and in this short video, I'm going to teach you exactly how to set up a business from scratch, set up your entity with your Secretary of State. Listen, there's a lot of different services out there that will charge you to actually set up a business, but it's very easy to do if you're going directly to the Secretary of State in the state that you want to set up the business. Now, if you're not sure of your Secretary of State, a simple Google search will pull up the actual site for that for you. You can easily come here, in this case, Secretary of State, Florida, and you'll see the #1 search result is sunbiz.org, which is where we actually set up businesses here in the state of Florida. So once you're on the site, you might have to look around, but you're looking basically for something that has to do with starting a business. Now, obviously, one of the things you're going to need to know before you move forward is what kind of entity you're going to set up. You may want to speak with an accountant before you actually make your decision. Now, we specialize in building business credit that's not linked to your EIN, or that's linked to your EIN, not your Social Security number. So we're big on separating liability. So we really recommend an LLC or limited liability company, or even coming in and actually choosing a for-profit corporation, of course, unless you're a nonprofit. So a corporation or LLC gives you the best chance of separating your personal and business liability. But again, you might want to consult with an accountant to make sure you choose the right entity. In this case, we're going to start a business, and we're going to start a for-profit corporation here in the state of Florida. Now, of course, you're going to want to read any disclaimers and instructions they provide, and you'll see a button typically right here to actually file for your articles of incorporation. Now, again, all the information that you're going to need is right here. In Florida, we actually have a tracking number that they'll give you once you do file to do annual reports and things like that. In this case, we're going to say that we've read the terms and conditions, and again, it's my advice that you do actually read the terms and condition before you start a new filing. Now, when you get to this point, there are some things you're going to want to already know. You're going to want to have a business name in mind, and you're probably going to want to do a search in your Secretary of State records to make sure that name's available before you actually choose it. So, for example, you can only have one of the same company name in a state, but you can have that company name have the same name in all states. So my advice is that you actually check, think of the business name that you want, do a search to make sure the actual website's available on a place like GoDaddy, and then if it is, make sure you move forward and check your Secretary of State records to see if that name's available in the actual Secretary of State before you proceed. Now, if we go right back to our search here and go to our Secretary of State, you'll see that it's very easy to do a search to actually check an entity name right here. Or even where we just were before with the actual secretaryofstate.com or with the actual sunbiz.org, it's very easy as well to come in and do a quick search where we just were. So we can come back here to search records, search the business name that we want right here by name, and then we can easily find out if that business name is available. So for example, if we type in the word Credit Suite, then we can see any other businesses that have that same or similar name to see if it's available. In this case, it's taken, so we would know that we could not file under that actual name. So you can do a simple search for the Secretary of State, and once you've done so, you can go right back to where we were, starting a business, choosing the proper entity type that you want to file, and moving through the steps to actually file for that entity. Now, you're also going to want to have some of the basics done by now. You're going to want to have the business name, again, research that you're going to choose. You're going to want to have your business address figured out by now, and your business phone as well, and here's why. Because a lot of loans and credit applications get denied because the information you enter on the application doesn't match with what's with the Secretary of State records. Believe it or not, it's one of the most common reasons that business loans get denied. And this is because people rush to set up their business without setting up the essentials like the address and phone number they're going to use for the business. So my advice is once you've decided on a name and know it's available, make sure you go in and get the address and phone number set up. That way what you put on the Secretary of State records is the same address, phone number, and name that you're using on all of your documents moving forward, which will help you not have information with the Secretary of State that's different from what is actually listed on applications, and it'll help you not have to pay fees to change this information down the road. So now it's just a matter of filling out some simple information, just basically filling out everything they're asking. The principal place of the business, the mailing address if it's different, the registered agent. Now, some people select a registered agent. If not, the registered agent is going to be you. And then basically typing in your information here, anything that's being asked, corporate purpose, Okay, all the other officers, if you have any officers, presidents, vice presidents, treasurers, secretaries, they're going to be listed here. You don't have to fill in every one of these sections. So if you're the only person, if you're a solopreneur, for example, and you're the president, then you're only going to fill out your information here as the officer. And again, you can always update this information at any time. So although this looks like a lot of information is cumbersome, keep in mind this entire section is just dedicated to officers of your business. If you're the only officer of the business, it's fairly quick to enter this information. Once you hit continue, then you're pretty much done. They're going to walk you through and they're going to actually charge you any kind of fee. So for example, do you want a certified copy or certification of status? If you need to know what those are there. I don't typically pay for those unless I need that information right away for something else I'm doing. And at that point, you would know because somebody else would be requiring that you provide one of these forms of evidence. But in most cases, I'm not choosing those options in cases that you may need them because somebody else has told you they need one of those copies. Once your entity's set up, then you may choose to pay for those. Now again, you want to keep an eye on your filing fees. It's very affordable here in states like Florida to be able to set up a business. It's only $70. In states like California, it may cost you $600 or $700 to set up an entity. But again, that's an extreme case. In a lot of states, it's fairly simple and fairly affordable to do so. And in a lot of states, just like you see here, it's really as simple as filling out a one-page application. Then the next page, when I enter all this information, will ask me for a credit card to actually pay the $70, and then I'll immediately have access to my actual documents showing that I have my corporation set up. These are called articles of incorporation, for example, if I'm setting up a corporation. And that's what's then needed to move forward and start getting things like your EIN, your bank account, etc., etc. So that is the process of setting up your business entity with the Secretary of State. If you have any questions or get stuck along the way, feel free to check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/credit suite. We have all kinds of tips and tactics to set up your business credibly, as well as other videos that will show you things like getting your EIN number and everything you need once you get your business set up to actually access capital through business credit and financing. And again, if you get stuck even beyond that, feel free to reach out to us direct, 877-600-2487. That's 877-600-2487 or info@creditsuite.com.